Hey, good morning, y'all. I know, yeah, it's been a while since I got on here and ranted, and, yeah, we've been dealing with broke leg syndrome. Yeah, let me see if I can get this up. I'm gonna back up a little bit. Let's yeah. We got the sexy-ass compression stocking on. I got my boo-boos covered. Yeah, we had surgery. Anyway, I'm not as incapacitated as, the only thing I can't do is bend the leg yet to drive. I'm kind of fucking losing it right now because I really would like the free will of getting in the truck and going and doing whatever the hell it is I want to do. Like, grocery store. Going to work and sitting behind a desk, which is I'm fully capable of doing. And God, if they had the capacity to hook me up remotely, I would be in my fucking heyday right now. Because that way, yeah. Can't complain. At least I'm getting 66.37% of my income from workers' compensation. But, hey, after they take out the 20% to my 401k, I ain't getting a whole lot out of that check. And my insurance, for that matter. All my other insurance. Yeah, it's like out of $800, I end up with like $300. No, give you an idea where my, how my income is being affected here. But I'm not in a bad place, so I'm okay. We're good. Yay. Physical therapy today at 3 p.m. It's 1 o'clock in the morning, hence the reason I'm out in the kitchen, because it is dark in the living room. I am not struggling with crutches poking through the living room to get to the light that's in the far corner. Yeah, my house arrangement sucks. I used to have a lamp plugged in right behind the couch. However, that socket was not wired correctly and almost burnt my fucking house to the ground. So we fixed it enough to be able to supply power to the entire wall in the bedroom where it is connected to, and took the plug out completely. So yeah, we just hit the hots, hit the neutrals, and hit the ground and taped everything off so nothing's touching, which is what caused the issue to begin with. So the fucking moron who changed out my plugs, the ground and the neutrals were touching. Yeah, took 5 years to... Okay, moving on. So, why am I up fucking 1 o'clock in the morning? Because damn medications and all of my stuff that I take to sleep, because this knee keeps waking me up in the middle of the night, has me up at 1 o'clock in the morning. And instead of sitting there and, stressing to get back to sleep, considering I don't have to go to work or anything, I just have to be ready to go to physical therapy at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. My mama comes to pick me up. Yeah, I might as well get up and rant a little bit. I love starting dumpster fires on Facebook. I think I'm going to start being a crazy cooter. So the most recent, and it kind of goes in a weird, fucked up direction, because I have family out in Colorado, and yeah, and everybody who's been following me knows my backstory. I'm I cuss like a sailor. Here's the disclaimer. I talk about just about anything and everything, even politics, and every now and then I get into a realm of politics, and I don't try to go full tilt boogie like valuetainment or what are those other content creators who like Squirrel. She's awesome. I love watching her, but I don't go into the depth and the guts of the politics. I take the meat of it and the perspective of it, and I put metaphor to it to try to make those that are walking around like fucking zombies wondering where they belong because they were a Democrat and now they're like, I don't know what the fuck is going on, and they want to come over to the right hand side. You can stay in the middle. just have standards. Okay? Anywho, so I put on, oh God. I'm going to have to insert this here. So, hold on. We're going to restart this so I can put the picture in. Okay. I'm going to put a few pictures in. Yeah. Anywho. So, I woke up this morning after I put a post on Facebook. And it was in respects to brainwashing. And let me give you a background demographic of the individual who had commented. Now, her and my sister. Oh my God, these two. Fuck my life. Anyway, so she gets on there and says something about Putin's puppet, and basically she was referring to Trump. And I'm like, oh, you must be upset that Zelensky's puppet is no longer there to give your tax dollars away. And if you had a clue about the entire history behind this conflict in itself, you would have the strength to refrain from commenting on my stuff. I mean, the comment in itself is, if she deletes her own comment, then I won't have reference because I didn't screenshot it before I came on here. But basically I was kind of like pointing out the Biden's son being a coke addict pedophile, you know, money laundering and embezzlement and all that crap. And Zelensky using that as leverage against Biden in order to get funds to help proliferate a war that, in all actuality, Putin took the first punch, but Ukraine instigated it, and he had started instigating this entire conflict. God, it had, I think it was like late 2013. Might have been somewhere in the midst of 2013, and it started making media attention, 2014. And the information that was being put out was incomplete. Like, that surprises anyone, right? So, as I followed this, because I was over in Germany at the time when all of this shit started popping off. Actually, I was in Afghanistan and Germany. Kind of like bouncing. So, oh God. Coffee kicking in. Eyes are going woo, woo, woo. She has no clue. Now, the backstory on this girl is I grew up with her. I used to walk to school with her. She gave birth to a little boy when she was about 15 years old. Parents supported this. It's the only, well, she had another child later, but this little boy turned out to be, later on, you know, came out of the closet. He's homosexual, which nobody cares. However, because of the woke ideology and twisted perceptions of the lgbtqai-jkmuv-omega-beta, fucking add another letter this year kind of crap. She has basically, in order to support her son, has never ventured outside of the DC element of the trans culture and basically fell in line with the trenders. Okay, so she doesn't understand that I have a lot of friends still from high school. A coworker, she's on my other page. I don't think she got involved in this one because she knows I can get a little bit hot under the collar when it starts. People start accusing me of being homophobic, and I am definitely not. And transphobic, I'm definitely not. I absolutely love Blaire White and Buck Angel. And, oh God, what is that other woman's name? Last name Blake. Well, she's not necessarily, she's a trans woman, you know. And she's beautiful. And I have always had, in my own perceptions, a support of people who feel as though they are in the wrong body, and when they become adults, they can make that decision on their own. What I do not agree with is the same perspectives as Blake and Buck and Miss Blake, or yeah, Blaire. Ms. Blake, Blaire, and Buck Angel, that this type of shit needs to be pushed on children. Now, on one side of the coin, I sit there and I psychoanalyze this whole fucking thing, right? And it's like, I'm almost wondering, the reason why the subject had started to come up is because of the DEI thing. Now, the DEI thing was supposed to be an extension of the equal opportunity. But what it did was open up a can of worms and then season it. And then force feed this seasoned worm shit down everybody's throat. And so the Department of Education, of course, you know, supported by the psycho left-wing aspect of the Democratic Party. Now, the Democratic Party, believe it or not, I used to be Democrat. I took the identifier, right? But for the entire existence, because I did what, you know, mommy and daddy told me, you know, yeah, we're Democrats. So I voted for who the fuck they voted for. You know, I supported who they wanted. Now, believe it or not, they were Democrats and did not support Clinton. Interesting. Because me, sitting as a Republican now, because I basically said, peace the fuck out, y'all weirdos. Other than Clinton being a pervert, yeah, he did a pretty good job being a Democratic element president. I no complaints. I was in the military at the time, and yeah, I have no complaints about him. And then, of course, I was in 3rd grade, and I remember we did this because they were kind of trying to get us to understand how voting works, right? And so they put out a piece of paper, and they gave and it had pictures. I remember it was like black and white Xerox copies of these little voting card things. And the only reason I checked Reagan was because I thought he had a nice smile. He looked like a nice man. I was 3rd grade. I didn't fucking know shit about politics, and I wouldn't understand it. I got ostracized by my family. My mother. You're kidding. And she was like scolding me. I was 8 fucking years old. You know what I worried about at 8 years old? Back then, you know, clothes are clean, food, going to school, getting good grades. That was my life. I wasn't following, you know, anything else. Didn't care, right? Exciting stuff, you know. We're going roller skating. When? I want to go. You know, that kind of crap. So yeah, I remember being scrutinized by my family for checking Reagan as my choice in 3rd grade, not even understanding politics, because he had a nice smile. Later find out, quite recently, that Reagan actually had been a Democrat. He was under that label. And when he ran for president, he ran under the Republican side, right? This is why I say, it's, left wing, right wing, same bird. Uniparty kind of thing. There are some, like even Trump. Trump was Democrat, now he's a fucking Republican. I didn't vote for Trump because of his party affiliation. Because I didn't fucking care whose party was what. I never have. Just like I didn't vote for Clinton or support his election, because I did not vote that year. I was going through basic. I didn't support him based upon whether he was a Democrat or Republican. So here is where a lot of people and the brainwashing element gets really fucking twisted. Now, I've been watching a lot of Blaire White's content only because it amazes me how aware and intelligent her content is against this embodiment of psychopathy, that the mental illness with the tropical fish hair and the pronoun creatures that the Democrats and the school systems have created over like the last 7 years is just fucking mind-blowing. And she sees it as much as I see it, and I am a very emasculated heterosexual female. I had a friend, she's actually gay. She said, yeah, you're like a little you're a burly little black man trapped in a heterosexual female's body. Make it make sense. But yeah, I am just, and it's funny because I sat there watching a bunch of stuff, because I'm bored. I'm sitting home, broke leg. And I'm like, I am so fucking confused. I am a heterosexual woman, but every person that I find like, oh yeah, I could hang with that person, it turns out to be a gay man. Lord help me. So anyway, so this chick from high school, who I grew up with, like technically family, our families were really close. She commented on my page, and I basically let her have it. She was offended by the brainwashing thing. It's like, have you, don't comment on one post until you actually go through it all and see the progression of content. And it's kind of like on here, I've gotten judged by, clean your messy house. No, that's my construction corner. It is literally 6 feet by 2 feet. It's kind of like contained. Now I have another cabinet in there that's contained, 3.5 feet by 2 feet, as organized as I can keep it in the other room. That's not as much of an eyesore as this, but this is where I like to sit. This is my perch, and it makes it interesting, and it kind of goes along with my title of Eclectic Chaos. So yeah, the floors are clean. Yeah, my mama stopped in to check on me yesterday, and she came through and swept, and she transferred a load of laundry because I managed to get one washed, and she came in and did the dryer and folded it for me and boogied it into the bedroom and put it in the basket. She's like, you can put it where you want it. I said, when I get to it, I get to it. She goes, if you don't get to it, just, you know, I'm coming in on whatever day to, you know, do the deep cleaning. So she did, like, I had like 2 plates, a bowl, and 2 pieces of silverware and a glass over the last 5 days. So she went through and washed up dishes and whatnot. So for the most part, it's just disorganized and cluttery. It's not disgusting and gross. I don't have pets. I don't have, like, cats shitting all over the floor and me ignoring it, kind of crap like that. I don't leave dirty dishes full of food and whatnot on the counters to turn into, you know, gross mountain, which I have seen. Ugh. Anyway, yeah. When I was a teenager, the boyfriend had a friend that he worked with, and we went to her house, and I was like, what the fuck? Do you ever clean? And she blamed it on somebody else. No, you got fucking issues, bitch. Yeah, I do clean. I do contain the mess. I wipe down the stove after I use it every single time. That kind of thing. So anyway, so this chick, it amazes me that how twisted and off the cliff the mentality has become in this far left. Like, my sister had got on, she had started, you know, she put on, I'm going to have to find somewhere to live. Now, my initial thought when I saw that text message come across was that her and her boyfriend broke up and he was kicking her out of the house they rent together. No. This is hyper-dramatization of the mere fact that Elon had discovered a lot of crazy shit, and it was so fucking crazy that they could not organize it expeditiously enough. So what they did was they sent the emails out, right? This is about the emails. See, my sister works with the VA. Now, her gripe was, I mean, legitimately, she was whining, because if it had been me who experienced the same issue, I probably would have spoke up on this individual's behalf. What it was that there was an employee there who was taken on with the employment contract that they would be under a probation period of about a year. And that year had not expired yet. And they had dismissed him about 3 weeks before it was, you know, up. And that is a typical, you know, we're gonna fucking slice from the bottom to the top move that they had done in the they do it in medical all the fucking time. They don't hit the pencil pusher who walks around with a fucking clipboard and really does absolutely nothing and earns a paycheck, kind of like my ex-brother-in-law, you know, wears a suit and tie like twice a week, and the rest of the time he's out fucking golfing. Chief administrator to a hospital. They ain't gonna kick his ass to the fucking curb. They're gonna hit the fucking logistics guy who stocks all the medical supplies, who only gets about $40K a year. That's who's gonna go first. And everybody else who has been in that occupation or job assignment for X number of years or whatever, who can do his job, doubles their work. Now they have to pick up the slack, because the guy that was doing all the work, most of it, is no longer with them. Right? So she's bitching. She has an illegitimate bitch, right? It's when the psycho fucking little woke niece pops up into this conversation, or, you know, one of the two. It says something about, you know, basically she's calling me a Nazi, but she had called Elon a Nazi. I misinterpreted it, and I don't care. My sister's like, it's not a contract. Yes, it's an employment contract. Yes. We have them at my job. If you fuck up too much in the first 90 days, your ass is taking a walk, because they can't afford it. It's an insurance liability. Well, I don't know why they do it at the VA, because I can't understand it unless he's driving some kind of heavy equipment or doing something ultimately dangerous. That, I mean, other than, you know, hey, you have this many times to be late, this many times to, you know, yada yada. You know, I'm trying to, you know, I'm not in that occupation, so I can't really diversify exactly what he could have done that put him in a position to where they released him 3 weeks before his probation thing was up, right? So I was trying to explain to her and pacify her that that was an upper management decision and that she should not be concerned about that. Well, she panicked because her probation time frame isn't until June, right? Her contract, employment contract, probationary contract is not up until June. So she's freaking out, right? And she had called my mom and asked, oh, what do I do with this email? Just fucking answer it. And if you're smart, add lib, hey, this guy, you know, to my understanding, this was totally an unlawful dismissal on his regard. And I'm going to bat. And this is what's happening. We, you know, understanding that you're paying people that aren't even doing their fucking job. But this guy was doing his job. And I'm responding with, this is what I do, but this is what I have to do because they fired the guy. So now I have 20 things that I have to do in 1 week as opposed to 10. Kind of thing. No. She panics and starts, oh, you're going to have to find me, you know, I'm going to need somewhere to live. Well, where's your man? What is he doing? Well, apparently he works for the VA too. So she's got a whole lot of confidence in him that he's going to maintain his job. She's got a whole lot of confidence in herself that she's going to maintain hers. Now, look at the demographics and where they're located. Colorado, VA. Holy crap. They got 2 strikes against them already. Now, personally, I don't think the government should be going after the VA in any regard. We finally started getting the shit cleaned up, except for the fact that they hire the most inept fucking practitioners known to man. And the people that they hire, most of them, there's a few that are contracted, like the one that they are assigning me to that I have to see in May. She probably works with the VA and takes patients, you know, for whatnot, a couple of days a week, outside of a private practice. That's understandable. Now, the first one that I fired, she used to have a private practice. Her private practice tanked, and she went into the VA full time because she couldn't make it on the outside. Now, this one they're giving me, she has an outside practice. The one that I just fired, oh no. She was a DEI military shoo-in that they implanted into the VA system because she hasn't been out of the service or had her medical license and or, you know, financial backing long enough in order to establish any kind of private practice. So she does VA full time, being as inept as she fucking is. Keep up, y'all. So anyway, get off of there. Thank you. I need to check my time. Okay, so it's 22 minutes. But yes, chick from high school's comment, basically, yeah, I start the dumpster fire and now I'm... Take your matches somewhere else, hooker. Stop being a source of ridicule. You want to start this fight? Trust me, it's probably not a good arena to step into. She doesn't know the conflict and where it originated with Ukraine and Russia. Her only focus is supporting her gay son, which nobody gives a fuck. And you can support him and not be a complete far-leaning left woke libtard. you don't have to like Trump, but you can understand his perspective on things. And you don't need to use terms like Putin's puppet, because Trump has never been a Putin puppet. If anything, Putin is Trump's puppet. And the reason why Putin went after Ukraine was because Biden is Zelensky's puppet. And Putin knew it. And with Trump out of the picture, Putin knew that, you know what? My puppet master is no longer in the fucking picture. I'm going to do whatever the fuck I want. And went and Pinocchio'd it out. There's a thought. So, the media wants to implant false information, false narrative, twist the fucking narrative to make the left-leaning, falling off the fucking cliff, woke, ideological idiot bags into thinking that the Republican Party is a bunch of, you know, Satan worshipers, where we are the Christian-based ones. Now, I don't go to church every Sunday, but, you know, I know the difference between false narrative and morals and ethics. And if you got morals and ethics, you ain't got to produce no fucking false narrative. So that's what the Republicans and the Democrats are fighting about. Now, I highly suggest, and I'm going to post a shit ton of links, likely, as I find them. There might be some initially when I put this together. For Blaire White, Buck Angel, Ms. Blake, and Valuetainment. Yeah, there's a lot of subjects wrapped in here. And I'm pretty sure that, you know, because I'm not popular enough and I don't have this, you know, pretty backdrop with neon lights and, you know, a bunch of fucking video technical editing skills, that anybody is really going to see this. But the fact still remains is the left-leaning, you know, Operation Mockingbird is still in effect. And the brainwashing that has occurred over the last 12 years because of this crap has grossly affected the minds of not only people of my generation. I'm a Gen Xer. There's a lot of them out there that are still afflicted with this twisted delusionment. My sisters included. I had to get in her face. I was like, you know what? DEI is going to kick your ass. It must have been a white guy. You know, she was like, how many black people do you talk to every day? Yeah, at least 12 on a regular, every day, because I work with them. Oh yeah, believe it or not, with your narrow fucking Colorado, you know, libtarded, you know, cultural appropriated mind, yeah, black people do know how to drive trucks. It's magical. Yeah, a lot of them drive a lot better than some of these fucking white cats that we got. Just making it clear. The point is that it all started to turn into race, and it all started to turn into personal jabs. And when I put my foot down, I was like, they lied to fucking everybody. So, let me make it clear. You weren't there. I was. I know what's going on. You don't. And, just to let you know, bring you up to fucking speed, 9/11 was an inside job. Go start there. Get your cognitive dissonance on, like I did back in 2013. And put this shit to bed. When you're whining about something without a fucking solution and you're not going to bat for yourself, why don't you just say, hey, this guy lost his job, I spoke up, I might lose my fucking job because this was wrong. Nope. Begging for somewhere to live. Well, you know what? My own sister and her husband put me out on the street because I couldn't pay my way. So, yeah, I lived in my car. You might want to try it sometime. It's a good time. So you don't have my fucking sympathies when you're going to whine without a solution. And when you're sitting there complaining about something without a solution, that is fucking whining. If you don't like the way the shit is running, you should not have picked a government agency to be fucking employed with. Find something else. I'm pretty sure there's a civilian aspect of logistics that you could fall into that doesn't require you to have a fucking panic attack and start, devaluing your family members on their ideologies, on the mere fact that we think you're overreacting and you're not looking at the whole picture with a rational fucking concept. You're throwing race and crazy shit into this, thinking that that's the reason, and it's not. It's just like all of the people who are in the government bitching and complaining now that Elon went and discovered that they were fucking raping the American people of their tax money for stupid programs that none of us, or the majority, would not have ever fucking approved. That's not what my money's used for. Now, I understand $30 billion divided by 331 million people is only about $90. But how many fucking years have they been doing this? And they put us in debt. So it's not like they were using what we had. Now my taxes are going up to make up for what they lent out, and they're not recouping. This is where Trump is like, no, we ain't going to be with NATO. Why? Know why? Because we're not getting paid for our fucking protective services. You're getting this shit for free. Time the fuck out. Somebody better start paying us. Enough said. I'm running out of time. So, y'all, peace out. Take care. I hope this, resonates. Yeah. My family sucks. My friends from high school, well, not all of them. I've got great friends from high school. I got a lesbian couple. I love them. They're great. A couple of lesbian friends. They're awesome. Yeah, we all trekking. It's the straight ones. Can't figure it out. What the fuck is going on?